Hello, everyone. Welcome to Music is a Journey. I'm Peter, and I'm not here. Well, all right. I suppose there's no fooling you. That's right, actually, I am here. But by the time I get these videos up, I'll not be here. So I have missed out on joining a lot of different threads that have been going on the last couple of months, and I really wanted to participate in some of them because it's fun. And it's a chance to get to meet some new people and get to know some new channels. And that's always a good thing. So what I've decided to do is to record 6 threads. Maybe I'll do 3 of them tonight, and maybe 3 of them in another couple of days. Anyway, what is it now? It is June 16th today, I think. Yes, it is June 16th, and I'm going to be setting these videos up, scheduling them to appear during next week when I'm not here. So just pretend I'm not here. Or whatever. So the first one I want to do, this is the My 600 Subscribers Giveaway Competition. It is by Sean the Beast, a new channel to me, but I did go over and watch his video, and it was rather interesting. Sean showed some albums for his contest, or his competition, which I'd never heard of before, and seems like he has an interesting taste in music, at least based on that video, largely metal music. But he does say that he listens to many different things. So I'm going to join his competition, and I'm going to stick to mostly a metal theme. So we're going to get started here. He has 3 simple questions, actually. And the first is to show 2 albums that are not talked about in the vinyl community or on YouTube, or if they have been, you've only seen them once or twice. Well, of course, I can just dig into my Canadian metal box and I can find loads of bands that no one has talked about. So, where did I put them? They're behind me here. I picked out 2. I did a video about this record label called Diminished Fifth Records that existed out in, was it New Brunswick or Halifax now? I did a video about it about 4 years ago. And with permission from the label owner, I was able to include a lot of samples of music. But of all the bands that I checked out, 2 of them that left a really big impression on me. One of them was a band called the Daisy Anthesis, and this is their album, their one and only album, called Surface and the Sky. Surface and Sky, right? Surface and the Sky. There it is. The Daisy Anthesis, they later dropped the Daisy from their name, and they've been going with just Anthesis. I'm not sure what they're doing now. But 4 years ago, when I checked it out, they were still active as The Anthesis. I think COVID actually killed a lot of those bands from the East Coast who were, hobbling around there with an album or 2 under their belt. So this is just some very loud extreme metal. I don't know exactly what you'd call it. There is some progressive element. There's probably some metalcore in there. Very shouty, gruff vocals, but some very heavy guitars, some cool riffs in places, and some pretty tricky-dicky music on there as well. So it's probably progressive. It might be tech progressive. I don't think it's quite death. Not sure, but very loud stuff and very cool stuff. And along the same lines, this is a band called Last Call Chernobyl, doing similar kind of thing. Very loud, growly, shouty vocals, very loud, heavy guitars, but also very technical in places, lots of odd time signatures and change-ups in the songs. And actually, kind of a coincidence, about a week or 2, I happened to see some Facebook post about them, that they were doing a show or something. And so I just commented and said, hey, it's really cool you guys are still active. So both of these albums go back to around 2011 or so. I will put a link to that video I did on Diminished Fifth Records, because I did a lot of needle drops or laser drops, whatever, for that. So for 2 bands that you normally don't see people talk about on YouTube, the Daisy Anthesis, also known as Anthesis these days, and Last Call Chernobyl, both of them from the east coast of Canada. The next question is to show 2 albums with some kind of beast on the cover. And Sean the Beast said it could be anything from a photograph of a kitten to some drawing or painting or whatever, some kind of artwork or whatever, showing some beastly type creature. And of course, for his, he showed some scary stuff. So On this theme of obscure Canadian bands, I want to show two, but unfortunately there are no physical copies of their music. Everything was just released as a download only, but I think the artwork suits what we're talking about here. So first is a band called B Pigwan from Ontario and their EP Nibak. Here's the album cover artwork. The main guy in the band, the guy who's been consistently a member of the band from the beginning up until I think their last recording was released around 2013. There was talk about recording some new material, but after 2018, the band seems to have completely ceased activity. And I remember reading an interview or seeing an interview with the main man and saying, well, anyway, what's his name? His name is Musquanquat Rice, or otherwise known as Muskie Rice. And he is an Anishinaabe, which is, I guess you'd call it a tribe or sub-tribe of the Ojibwe. So anyway, a First Nations gentleman. And he's the main dude behind the band. He's the founding member and the one consistent member despite whatever lineup changes there have been. Anyway, he said that he was going to go back to the reservation where his grandmother is and spend time with her. And I think since then there just hasn't seemed to have been any activity with the band. Although I think one of the band's former members is active doing something out there. But anyway, that is B Pigwan, which is the, Asininabe. That's the name of the people, Asininabe. I forget the name of the language now. Something similar to that. But anyway, in their language, or maybe even in the Ojibwe language, it is a word meaning war whistle, which he said sounds a bit corny in English and slightly less so in the native tongue. But anyway, that's the name of the band. Once more, this is Nibak. And yeah, not only is it a very scary, beastly cover, but it is also suitable for Canada. So that's a band out of Ontario. And then one other band comes from a small, I don't know if they come from this small town, but there is a small town or village or something on Prince Edward Island called Uig. And there's a band, maybe they're from that town, called Uig. And they had a download-only album called Of Moose and Men with this album artwork here. Fabulous stuff. Very beastly looking moose and also very suitable for Canada. They did actually release one other album as well. However, they have since ceased activity. The drummer of the band has a new Celtic punk band on the go, as I read on their Facebook page. While we're on the topic of beasts, I thought maybe I should give it a bit of a warning here. We have this problem in Japan. There is this kind of beast. It's called a neko. You can see here, this neko has gotten into somebody's pedal board and mixed up all the pedals and everything. These are very annoying, beastly creatures. They get into rehearsal rooms and studios, and as you can see here on the back cover, they just make a home, a nest in all the pedals. So you really have to watch out for them. There was this other band here. They actually found 4 of them, 4 of these nekos. They had to pick them all up and move them out. And so you really have to be careful in Japan with the neko. Oh my gosh, there's one of them now. Boy, you were after my super chorus pedal, weren't you? So beware the neko. Okay. So the last question for Sean the Beast is he's reached 600 subscribers after something like 21 videos. Wow, that's pretty fantastic. Congratulations on that, by the way, Sean. And he's just asking, what else would you like to hear him talk about? He's suggesting, should he talk about movies, graphic novels, books, memorabilia, and so on. And I've only seen the one video so far, but I'm presuming that, like the rest of us, he's talking about music. So mostly albums on vinyl or possibly CDs and talking about those. But it seems he has a lot of obscure stuff, so it could be very interesting to find out what else he's up to. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just interested in hearing what you have to say, Sean, about the different albums you pick up, because already there was some pretty cool looking stuff. Okay, and that's it. That's my contribution then for Sean the Beast and his 600 subscribers contest. Once again, congratulations on getting to 600 in such a short time. You must be doing something right. And I will leave the original video link in the description below. So, what is the prize, by the way? I forget. What did he say the prize was now? I think he said it was £50 through PayPal, and it is running until the first week of September. So if anybody else wants to jump on the contest. Okay, thanks for watching. Now I've got a couple of more videos I'm going to record. See you in those ones.